So the most important thing that we're learning straight off the runway is a thought is a thing. Now, the best example I can give you is gravity. So we can't see a thought, but we know it exists. And we can't see gravity, but we know it exists. And the reason we know gravity exists is because there are consequences to gravity. So I know that if I take my pointer and let go, it will go down. There's not a nanosecond of doubt because of the laws of gravity. I know it will go down. And when we look at, the moon, the whole gravitational pull, the tides, everything, there are laws of gravity. In fact, we can predict the outcome of gravity by, if you take, so let's say I weighed and measured this and I dropped it from that height, and I can measure the velocity and the impact. If I then took that to the top of a 40-story building, I know that if I do these calculations, I can work out the velocity, which will change, and it'll have a bigger impact. And I can calculate that, if I've got all my formulas right, to the minute degree. So there are thoughts that have a bigger impact, even though they all seem like the same thing. The thoughts that have the biggest impact on your health are the thoughts that relate to what you put in your mouth and how much you move your body. They're the ones that are dropping from the 80-story building, the 100-story building. Those have the biggest impact. And we know a thought is a thing because it has a consequence, the same as gravity. So when you think about something and then do something and generate a behaviour, there's a consequence. And that consequence will tell us the velocity or the power of that thought. Does that make sense? So there are some little thoughts that if you only do once in a blue moon, that will really have minimal impact. But they get the most impact, they get higher and higher and higher up that story building, the more you do them. That's what really makes them more powerful, because then you start to do them without thinking. So every thought poses a variety of choices. So when you finish this course, you're going to have the same choices. And here we are in this wonderful retreat where food is provided and it's delicious. And how easy would it be if we had these chefs at home? It would be really easy. So making the right choices here is easy because of the environment we're in. When you're back in your own environment, you're going to have all the same choices that you had before, but maybe some others that you hadn't noticed, and some that you hadn't thought about, and some that you have to generate. But those old choices will still be available to you. If you work somewhere with a vending machine, you're not going to finish this course, this program, and suddenly you go to work and someone's taking the vending machine out. You're going to have a different strategy to be able to walk past the vending machine. But you're still going to have the same choices, but what you are going to have is a more resourceful mindset to be able to deal with that. So here's a really powerful thought that I will remind you of several times. You are free to choose. So when you finish this program, you're free to choose the same things that you did before. But you're not free from the consequence of that choice. Now, when it comes to food choices, I want you to think of it like this. You've got to remember the bog-off principle. When you make a food choice, you eat the food and you get the consequence for free. You cannot eat the food without the consequence. So if you're choosing the sugary donuts, for example, or it might be the greasy fish and chips, or it might be the greasy pizza, it might be whatever it is, when you choose that, it doesn't matter how good it tastes, you're going to get the consequence for free.
Bye.